Hey everybody, I'm Brandon. You're watching ADHD Game Dev. What's up? Welcome to the program. Thank you for being here. I thank you for all of the new subscribers. It means a lot to me, and thank you for your comments. Keep them coming. I do try to respond. Okay, I want to talk today about what I'm working on and use this as an example of how to take an asset flip concept and to modify it, tweak it, push it, change it a bit more. This is almost a live stream / stream of consciousness. Let's jump over in. I'm going to jump over to Godot. We're going to do a screen share. Here we go. Cool. So here is a scene. I know. Take it all in. It's like, oh my, wow. Wow, Brandon, you're amazing. I know. Please stop. I can't. I'm blushing. So here's a creekside scene. If you've watched the channel, you've probably seen some of this. But what we've got here are a whole bunch of assets. Okay, whole bunch of assets coming together with modifications by yours truly, and a mix and a match, and we're smashing a lot of different things together to get a final result. And I'll show you Blender in a second. First of all, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the terrain itself. So we've got the terrain system, which is from Tokasan Games. That's the Terrain 3D plugin. Very nice, very useful. I like that terrain plug-in. I've got the images here that you're seeing. Let me go underwater. We'll go underwater. Look, we're underwater. Hold your breath. Okay. The sand, the rocks, the grass. These are original. These are original from. Oh wow, where was it from? Was it from Polyhaven? It might have been Polyhaven. And they were photographic imagery, but I've modified it to be a lot more of a stylized kind of a looking thing, more of a painted looking thing, as you can see here. Still not quite where I want it, but we're getting there. The point being is that I took something and modified the heck out of it to turn it into something that fits my scene instead of just taking it as it is. We'll have cattails, some stuff from Sketchfab, some stuff I've gotten from fab.com, which is the Epic store. And I've purchased some assets, and I've licensed some on Creative Commons from Sketchfab. But what I'm doing is I'm putting a lot of them together and crisscrossing things and making modifications. So we'll take a set. Let me grab this image. So we'll take a set of models that I might have purchased here. Okay. If you take a look here at the image reference from this set, they're a bit different. They might be familiar. I'm not using these grasses here. I'm using these mushrooms, but I've tweaked them a bit. I'm using these roots. I'm using that log and stump. I'm using this big rock here, but I don't have the moss on top. I like the moss on top. That was part of an Epic Unreal shader I haven't gotten into, but I don't know if I'll figure it out. Maybe I'm not that smart in Godot, but I do want to look at these trees as well. Okay, take a look here at some of these trees and the brushy leaves. Okay, what I did was in Blender, we might have an asset like this pine tree here, for example. This is a Sketchfab pine tree, but I've taken the image, the trunk image of it is actually from the stylized log that you were just looking at. Okay, so there's that stylized log that you've got, and the trunk. That's all part of that same image. That was very nice, and I did purchase that one. So I'll take that and apply it to the tree to get a bit more of a cohesive look. And I didn't like the needles because they were a bit too realistic. So then we'll take the leafy kind of brushy thing that I had on this other tree and replace painstakingly and at great personal risk, painstakingly replacing all the Sketchfab pine needles with more of the brushy kind of a look. Okay, so now I've combined, if you're keeping track at home, we've combined a tree that I bought with a Sketchfab tree with a purchased texture, and that is when you get the final tree right here. Okay, so you'll see this is the final pine tree in place, and it's got more of a leafy kind of a thing. I call it a pine tree, even though pine trees aren't going to have leaves, they're going to have needles, but I didn't like the look of the needles, so I'm going for the style, a stylistic cohesion that makes sense. These branches are obviously not part of the tree. They were added from fallen branches from the same asset pack. So then we'll combine in some other rocks. So we see a couple of these rocks, these triangular rocks. That's from a completely different set. But stylistically, they match with what I had. And I repainted that texture a bit too. So I don't take that just as is. I don't just grab and go with it. Okay, let's look at the grass and the moss and the bushes righty. This is all from a Simple Grass textured add-on that I'm using. And that grass came with it. I loved it. I'm sticking with it. It was actually one of the first things I got that I loved, and I liked the look of it, and it got me going on the overall style that I wanted because I loved it so much. The bushes are being driven by the same system, the Simple Grass system, but I've repainted that image, custom repaint in Photoshop to get a different look on it. And the moss, I originally had some reference that was a vector image. I think it was from Vecteezy in the first place for called Spring Grass was what it was called. Sorry, I don't have that open right now. It's irrelevant. I didn't use it. I just liked the colors. I wound up repainting the whole thing. I tried over and over again and didn't like it. So this moss, I've gone around the bases on getting moss to look the way I want it to. I still would probably like to get some painted moss on top of these rocks. But I did take the colors of the grass and I made my own image in Illustrator to match the color tone that I wanted to get this look, and it's being driven by the Simple Grass add-on. So that's two add-ons, as you see, the terrain add-on and the Simple Grass add-on. Another element we'll have in here, these elements, I love these guys. I love them so much. I get happy. And this is my game Tiny, the last Wayfinder. I'll bother you to wishlist it soon. It's not ready for you to wishlist it. Calm down. But you can ask to be on the mailing list on my website at foldupgames.com if you would like to. This leaf, violet leaf, is a photograph element that I took. I took a picture of that myself and dropped that in. and I built this one. It's one of the few pieces that I got and actually built myself. I found that I'm doing better when I'm just leveraging assets and tweaking them instead of trying to make things from scratch. It takes way too much time for me to make everything from scratch. But if I tweak them a fair bit and get them to look the way I want, I'm making faster progress. This log, you remember seeing this log over in Blender? Let's jump back over. Yeah, there we go. So there's that log. Okay. However, I did a version of it. This is, again, we're not doing a straight asset flip. We're tweaking things to get the final result. I did a version myself in Blender to where I hollowed it out. Again, at great personal risk. It was just, I could have been hurt in the process. But oh, that's where I got those bushes. I couldn't for the life of me remember where I got the bushes in the first place. Oh, they were part of the nature pack. I got one of the shapes. So instead of using the whole bush like that, I got the shape out of the nature pack. And then I edited that in Photoshop. So there it is. I'm glad I told you that because I forgot where I got that one. That was the original one, and I tweaked it to get the final look that I wanted out of it. Those are pretty nice as is. And there's still some more stuff in here that I haven't pulled. I've seen other people using this asset pack just kind of straight as is, and that's where I was thinking, like, I don't want to just take it as is. I want to tweak it, change it, make it my own, mix and match, get other assets, and kind of push them all to be in the same vein. The other one, big change. Whoa, look at that one. So there is Twig, my character. His original model is this character, stylized, short hair girl, might have been her name. And you can see I tweaked the heck out of the character to get this one. Now their model is absolutely lovely and has got way more complexity than I could manage. It was too much for me, so I actually scaled it back a lot to get a final look here. I wanted to get rid of a ton of the complexity. Had a full integrated mouth, tongue, lips, teeth, facial rig that I didn't really need. Lots of different separate images for arms and legs, textures I didn't really need. I just needed the basics, and I did some tweaking on the repainted to make my character different. I also redid the eyes entirely. It was a multi-part eye, and I wanted just a single solid eye, so I redid the eyes myself to get that. and the hair is the same cut but a different image texture on it to simplify a lot of it. I want to make sure that it's not going to be too dense of a model. I already worry that it's too dense of a model as it is, so I stripped out a lot of the complexity and density out of it to get a final result. But yeah, that is about what I'm up to over here. And water. Water is a shader. It was a shader that was available on a Godot Shaders website. I tweaked it. I didn't write that myself. I needed help. I got some ChatGPT help to make it move, and I messed with all the settings to get a water flow to it. And we've got cattails. I believe these are a Sketchfab one. I've got a list of all the credits that will be in the game when I finally finalize it. And I'll probably replace the sky with something a little bit more stylized. We'll get to it. And then we'll have some critters and butterflies and dragonflies and things that I'll have in place here. But anyway, that is about what's going on in the universe out here. But yeah, between Sketchfab, between just original painted or modeled pieces, I get to the final result. But a lot of what I want to do is to mix and match existing assets. But that's about all I got for you today. Thank you for being here. If you're interested in the game, please do subscribe to the channel or ask about the email list that's on foldupgames.com. And if you have any questions, please drop them down below. I appreciate you being here. Be awesome today. Bye now.